experience classes, it's just fun, you know. I'm not all into putting oil on my face to make my face shine, but apparently that's a thing. You know, I think in the desert that was a big thing. But, you know, wine that gladdens human hearts, makes your heart joyful. It's a bread that sustains your heart and strengthens you. These are all things that we should be thankful for. These are joyous occasions. In Proverbs 23, may your father and mother rejoice. May she who gave you birth be joyful. Family. I love Christmas time because all 6 of us are together. You know, like the only time it ever happens. And just, you know, if you're with your kids, your grandkids, your parents, just anything where you're with your family, that's a time to rejoice. That's a time to be thankful. That's a time of joy. It's a time of joy. It's not necessarily right now. It's later. Whenever you all cross paths in this world. Yeah, Psalm 105 is talking about, because God said right at the beginning in Genesis, he said he saw what he had made and it was very good. He made it right. He made it very good. We don't trust that. But the world was made very good. And of course there was a fall, and it kind of threw things into chaos. But with Jesus, the restoration of the kingdom is available. And in Psalm 105, remember when he delivered the Israelites out of Egypt. He said he remembered his holy promise given to his servant Abraham. And he brought out his people, and what it means brought out, he brought them, you know, through the river and the woods to grandma's house. They brought them out of Egypt, out of slavery into the wilderness. And though they just got into the wilderness, and though they had some possessions, but the promised land was far off, and there was a long journey ahead of them. He brought his people out with rejoicing. They weren't slaves anymore. They were free. They were free from everything. Whatever they had in Egypt now was behind them. And of course the metaphor for us is Jesus delivering us. I mean, we still got bills to pay and we still got streets to walk and all that stuff. But the reality is the joy the Bible talks about is something deeper. Is something deeper. Because when they came out of Egypt, their joy wasn't built on their joy wasn't identified by their struggles, but on their hope. That's where joy comes from, is your hope. If you just look at your circumstances to determine your joy, I think this is pretty intuitive. You have to continue to alter your circumstances in order to have joy. And that's too much pressure for me. And Jesus promised a joy for us. He promised a peace for us. And it's the same thing, the hope that he promised. A Christian joy, a biblical joy, is eternal and forever. And that's what this is. That's what joy is in the Bible. Never die. It's always hopeful. It's always peaceful. It's like love, which is next week. And so that's what we're thinking about in terms of analyzing joy. But I got a question. Why is there a pink candle? What the heck? Anybody? Yeah, that's what I thought. And there's a whole situation here that you can analyze in terms of why there's a pink candle and our reaction to it. I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure there's a reason. And I'm sure we lit it today. But honestly, does anybody really care? I mean, does anybody care if it's a pink candle? I get the feeling 2024, if you're like me at all, you don't care. Just a ritual. Just light the pink candle, name it joy. It's really supposed to be a rose candle. And when did rose come to depict joy? And I think I get the feeling, based on church attendance across the United States and the Western world and its rapid, horrifying decline into less than 20% of regular attenders, that nobody else cares either. It's almost like we've been released from that. And the reaction time of some places is like, they don't care, we don't care, but let's do it anyway. It's, you know what I mean? Like, why do I do it? It's just fun facts, okay? These are Christmas nugget gifts for you guys. You can thank me later with donations to my pocket cookies, because I'm about to finish off the 2.8 pounds that I bought yesterday. I thought it would last a week. The Advent wreath, where did that come from? Anytime in the ancient world or this world where you see any kind of a circular thing or a cross thing with 4 points on it, that's an altar to a sun god. That's what it is. It has a circular wreath around it. It has the 4 points. You know, the cross has been around since way before Jesus, right? They have pre-Chinese, anthropologists have found cross and all kinds of ancient civilizations, because it's a symbol of the sun god. It's the shortest day, the longest day, the fall, and the spring. Well, there's a cross under our Advent wreath, a sun god cross. But it doesn't, show of hands. I mean, being honest, don't show your hands. Do you really care? Does it matter? If we partake at the altar of a sun god, who cares? The Roman sun god was Mithra. The Babylonian sun god, if you need names, was Tammuz. And the Egyptian sun god was Ra. And somehow, all this got mixed up. And they decided that it's cool, let's just import these altars and these rituals that worship other gods, and we'll call it Jesus. Who cares? That's what I'm saying. Does it matter? Let's call it what it is. It's Jesus. There's joy there, though, right? As long as we light that candle, it brings us joy. Brings us hope. It brings us peace. And really, when I think about some people telling me, well, it's the preparation for Christmas Day. You're preparing yourself for Christmas Day so you can truly celebrate it. I'm like, well, dude, I get that. But why am I going to get all dressed up to go to a dance that happened 2,000 years ago? And when I get there, nobody's there. Why? I mean, I categorize it by knowing that I'm waiting for Jesus' next coming, for the kingdom that he promised. So I understand that. I'm not Christmas. Remember last week we just talked about it. There's only one day ever, and it's today. It will always be today. Even tomorrow will be today when we get there. And yesterday was today until today showed up. And that's all there is. That's all there is. But it doesn't really matter. Again, we can do whatever we want. We can call whatever we want. It's all right. And so where did, I got off on a weird track there. Where does the pink candle come from? It comes from Lent, actually. Lent, they used to light candles. And what they did was they would light, they were all purple candles, and purple is the color of penance. Pain, suffering, fasting. You do penance to prove how bad you are and to try to make up to God through suffering, self-imposed suffering, to show God how much you love him. That was the way people thought. And there is no disrespect to any religious group or anybody who thinks whatever they want to think. I'm just allowed to think the same thing. I'm allowed to think too. Not trying to put down the Advent wreath or anything like that. But there's always another side to the story that you should be aware of so that you can make a informed decision. Because it all really does come down to choice. Did I answer yet why there's a pink candle? Oh yeah, Lent. So they had the wall. Actually, purple isn't the right color. They totally messed with purple. It's black. That was the original color. But what they found out is they were spending so much money because the priests had to wear garments, and black doesn't hold its color. And so it was turning to brown and gray, and it just was losing its color, and they had to replace all of those colors and stuff on the whatever they had. And so they found out that purple held its color better. So they changed to purple. So all the meaning that black had now got transferred over to purple. And so purple is penance. Purple is pain. If you walked into a church back in the day and saw the purple banners up, you would go, no, I have to fast 3 times this week. I have to give more money. I have to hurt myself. Even though Paul in Colossians says, don't waste your time. It doesn't help. But the pink, they saw a wall of purple, and the religious leaders said, we better throw some joy in there. They still have to fast, and they still have to suffer, but they can be joyful while they do it now because we have a pink candle. That was their whole reasoning behind it. And 40 days for Lent is so long. And the reason they had to do it that long is because that's based on another sun god ritual, the weeping for Tammuz, which is 40 days long. They give up something for those 40 days. They suffer for 40 days. And then at the end, they have a ham dinner because Tammuz was killed by a boar on a boar hunt. It's all common knowledge. Where's the joy? Where's the joy? It says in Colossians 2, it says, you were dead because of your sins, and because your sinful nature was not yet cut away. And then God made you alive with Jesus, for he forgave all of your sins. He canceled the record of the charges against us and took it away by nailing it to the cross. In this way, he disarmed the spiritual rulers and authorities. He shamed them publicly by his victory over them on the cross. Victory, that's joyful, but it just doesn't look right. And do you see what's going on here? Do you see what they did to him? They forced him to put his outstretched arms on the symbol of a sun god so that he was forced to worship the sun god and to see for sure that he was the weaker god. That's all that is. It wasn't just an instrument. And the joy came when he rose from the dead. That's your true joy. That's your only joy. Everything else kind of goes away. It passes with the wind. Passes with the wind. And this is what they did. And this is what we do. Do you see the blue Jesus behind me? You see the golden disc around his head with the little 4 pillars, the one that's hidden behind his back? Sun God. Look at art. Look at symbolism. Look and see. Not Jesus, the little baby that's getting kissed by his older Jesus. Oops, sorry, Terry. If you're looking for Jesus this week, he's right behind me. The picture. The 4. There's no joy there. There's no joy in participating. The joy is that Jesus loved you enough to die for you. That is eternal. That can never be stolen from you. And like I said, you know what? I love Christmas more than anything. I bought 3 pounds of 3 pounds of cookies. I watch a bunch of movies. I have fun. The family's together. We have a tree. We do all of our fun little rituals. I love it to death. But I know what it is. It's joy with my family. It's joy. And I remember that Jesus did come to earth 2,000 years ago, and that I don't need to pretend like I'm preparing for his birth again. I'm preparing for his second coming. I'm preparing for I live now to the best of my ability to live in his kingdom now, where you're a servant and we're love. Love God and love your neighbor as your highest order. Hebrews 9 said, like a will that takes effect when somebody dies, and again, this is explained to us so that we can understand it. The new covenant was put into action at Jesus' death. And the new covenant is what we hear, God's new agreement between God and man, that our belief in him, in Jesus, is our ticket. He said his death marked the transition from the old plan to the new one, canceling the old obligation and accompanying sins, and summoning the heirs to receive the eternal inheritance that was promised them. He brought together God and his people in a new way. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly our source of joy. You never have to pray for joy. You go to Jesus, who is the source of joy. Please, God, give me joy. He's like, I gave you joy. I gave you fullness. Even the first plan, they say, required death to set it in motion, like a will. You don't, you know what I mean? After Moses had reached all the terms of the plan and new law, God's will, he took the blood of sacrificed animals and in a solemn ritual sprinkled the documents. This is the blood of the covenant commanded by God. And we know those words sound very familiar because we just did communion. He did the same thing with the place of worship and its furniture. Moses said to the people, this is the blood of the covenant God has established with you. It's how it works. It's how it works. That's why blood, the evidence of death, is used so much in our tradition. And then he's writing to the Hebrews, explaining how Jesus was, in fact, the Messiah. And Jesus did, in fact, usher in a new kingdom. And Jesus did, in fact, usher in a new covenant. Especially regarding the forgiveness of sins. And that's what's written into the new covenant. That's a source of joy. Your sins have been forgiven. Nothing you go through can take away your joy, because our joy, our attitude of following Jesus that we choose, the joy is not because of circumstance, but because of the hope we have, that he truly loves us. It's the hope that we have that he truly did rise from the dead. It's the hope that we have that he truly, there is nothing that can ever separate us from the love of God that is found in Jesus. That's joy. And that's every day. It's not any part of the year. It happens only on one day. And the day it happens on is today. When it's not today, then you can worry about it. But there's one time where you can come to Jesus, where you can have hope, and where you can experience eternal joy. And that's today. That's today. So we're going to sing Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and I wonder what they're singing to us.
Stand if you are able, and it is number 191.
Hark the herald angels sing.
Yeah, good.
It was good. I
Go in
didn't,
there like he's hugging.
I didn't see it till you was telling me that. What you do? The baby Jesus over there. You all brought me the chairs. I said, you all brought me. Oh, every day. It only takes a good plan. No, I mean, you all always sounded so good. Well, you just want us to feel better. I hope everything's working out for you. I love that. What is this sleeping in? It's like silk, you know, like silk. Yeah, that would be. I have the jacket. Oh, yeah. That's Jordan. I have to wear gowns. I can't stand jogging. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I just wear shorts. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Are you still alive? Are you still alive?
I hope I never have to do that. Did you like it? Yeah.
Well, I need to get this.
I know it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. I mean, I liked it, but it's just, I don't know. I didn't like my part. I didn't know what I was playing, and it was just, it was, I was just, I did. I'll get fired now. I'm not kidding. I just did so bad. And, on the organ. Half the time I just wrote down, but I didn't. I mean, we just did not practice that thing. No, not enough. We did the solos. And, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my noise. I tell you, Phil is just.
I mean, that shirt is gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
So pretty.
Thank you. I didn't ever wear it. I think I got it when we went out to Vegas. I think that's what I got.
I like the way Yes.
Yeah, I think and it's comfortable. I just,
But yeah, I don't know. And he makes you so nervous.
well, that's it. I get myself so worked
I
up.
couldn't play with him right now. I've seen him. He would repeat
He
it.
kept coming over. Yeah.
I take him out.
Yeah. He doesn't like it. He does not. I think it's because I took Terry's place. They're the ones that asked me.